welcome Frank Frankie Flowers, to talk to us about sustainable development in your backyard or your front yard, your landscaping, right?
Yeah, what the heck is sustainable?
You tell me.
You're hearing this word all the time, and you're hearing about sustainable landscapes, which are really landscapes that benefit the environment and really don't create a big impact to the environment. So there are really good ways that we can create wonderful landscapes that look good and are good to everything around.
Good for the environment.
And they're really not that new. If you look at the picture behind you right now, Tracy, we're looking to Ireland, and when Ireland is known for all the nice little cottages there that have the green roofs.
Yes.
Green roofs are something that have been used for hundreds and hundreds of years, and the benefit of these is they retain heat inside the home. They also create a cooling effect, but more so than that, what they also do is they retain water. They're absorbing water. So they have evolved a little bit into some of the plant material. In the next image, we'll show you some of the plant material they're using now. They're in Ireland. It's always raining, so they can use a lot.
And everything's so beautiful and
so
green.
Beautiful. Here's an example of a green roof in an area that's more dry, in an area like Toronto on a flat roof system, using sedums. And sedums don't need a lot of soil mass, so the impact is not big, the weight on the roof structure itself. And remember that black, everybody always uses black shingles up there. Well, that always absorbs heat and reflects a lot of heat. Well, this creates a cooling effect in the city. And here in Toronto, now commercial buildings have to have 25% of their new structures covered by green roof structures.
I didn't realize that. So that's why all of these huge condos have green roofs. I thought it was just something they were adding to the amenities. It's something that they have to do.
They have to do, and it's smart.
It is very smart.
Because you look at the infrastructure of cities right across the country, the infrastructure is starting to deplete, and with that, that's why we're getting all this flooding, because it would run right off. Think about this. 1 inch of rainfall on 1,000 square feet creates 600 gallons of water.
Wow.
1 inch, 600 gallons. So what happens when that runs right off? Well, that goes off, and then you start getting floods.
Right.
So also what's becoming really popular are rain gardens. And what the heck is a rain garden? Well, we'll show you some of the images of rain gardens. Rain gardens are gardens that actually capture the water. And with those rain gardens, they're beautiful. You can take a look right there. They'll capture the water. This is a bog area that's capturing the water in one area. And what they're doing with this after the fact is we can use that water thereafter. There are also large-scale rain gardens that are now becoming more in municipalities, which are using that drainage as well. We have another image of those.
So how does that work then? So you're just creating something that's almost like a pond so that the water is caught?
Exactly. Instead of it running off towards the road, what we're doing is we're capturing and containing that water, almost harvesting the water.
Oh, cool.
And probably one of the earliest methods of harvesting water is a rain barrel. You know, and rain barrels have come and they've now become better and better and better and more improved. Well, these guys here have the ability to capture all that water that you can reuse. You know,
way more popular than ever, these rain barrels.
And now what's happened as well is permeable pavers. So right up here, Rhinox has a full selection of permeable pavers. And what the heck is a permeable paver?
I was going to ask you, what does that mean?
Lift that up.
Muscle.
So before, what we would do is we put our paving stones right close together. And with that, what would happen is you get a bunch of runoff. What this does is we're putting stones in between, allowing that moisture to go through and absorb into the ground. But just allowing it to absorb in the ground is one thing. The other thing that we can do is allow it to not only absorb in the ground, but we can capture it. And we can capture it in what's called a range exchange system. So right here, this is your downspout, and that downspout, so what happens? Let me show you a vision. So rain falls off sky.
You be rain, okay.
Sky go on roof.
Yes.
Rain come down downspout into this capture right here. This is going to be off your downspout. This runs into basically another area of well that's created that we could create a water feature out of, that we could water our lawn. So while all the other neighbors out there are going through water restrictions and water bans, you're out there watering your lawn. You're like, look, I have the greenest grass. Everything's going.
Right. I'm so cool. Look at me.
I'm so cool,
I'm reusing all. I'm reusing all that water I'm getting. That's very smart.
So that's rain
and
exchange
making it look
aquascapes.
nice. It's interesting to me because we used to look at all these contraptions and be like, oh my gosh, they're so ugly. I don't want that in my yard. Now it's become de rigueur. Like you want to have this stuff in your yard.
You do.
Especially depending on which neighborhood you live in. Being eco-friendly is part of what you want to be doing.
Exactly. And let's say that you're like, oh my God, this overwhelms me so much. Well, here's a pamphlet from the City of Toronto. The City of Toronto and many municipalities right across the country are offering educational programs, as well as many of them are offering funding. So giving you money, because what's happening now
more important than
is
the educational programs.
Yes, cash is great.
Rebates.
But rebates. Instead of them building new infrastructure to really capture all this water, if you can capture the water at your home, reuse it, then it's going to be way cheaper for them. And
Okay.
finally, what I want people to think about out there is evergreens and also some of the shade trees. Remember that an evergreen, properly placed on your landscape, can block winds in the winter, thus reducing air heating costs. Remember that a shade tree up there, when it loses its leaf during the winter, allows sunlight in, but in a south and west facing location in the summertime with the foliage on, will shade out your home. So what it does is it allows lights in to heat the home, but in the summer, shades out the home, thus reducing your air conditioning costs. So proper placement, good design, smart thinking about it is the way to go. And there's so many options, from permeable pavers, from Rhinox, all the way through to green roofs. We can make it happen.
We can do it.
All we need is your money.
Very smart design. Just pay. All right, let's get a break. Stay with us. We're coming up.